Let me introduce Kathryn. Would you just say a brief remark about yourself and about Golden Seeds, please?
Sure. Kathryn Swintek, and I'm a general partner in Golden Seeds Fund 2 and a member of the Angel Investing Network for Golden Seeds. We're 10 years old, and we are the first or second largest angel investment firm in the United States, depending on the year.
And Sasha, tell us a little bit about yourself and your investing activity.
I'm a co-founder and managing partner of Almaz-Capital, which actually have offices in Silicon Valley and Moscow.
Maybe we can start with you, Kathryn, and just talk about hotbeds, or they're sometimes called clusters. And obviously, we all know Silicon Valley, and we all know Israel and New York and Boston and others. But what are some of the ingredients that you see that make those important in the U.S. and in other, well-established markets, at least around the world?
Yeah, I think it's the collaboration or among academia, government, business. Obviously, people feeling like they speak the same language. Mm-hmm. They understand what the rules of the game are, what the expectations are. So, innovation, of course, is at the forefront of, each of those successful hotbeds. Mm-hmm. New York is coming up on the scene, as we know. It used to be number 3 in technology, and it's now number 2 behind Silicon Valley.
So how, Sasha, is that different, or is it the same in emerging markets and certainly in, the Moscow area?
Well, I will say that clusters, of course, became very popular to build everywhere. Yes, so you see that London, Berlin, you can name many cities, and including Moscow, even Istanbul right now building mm-hmm. cluster. Yes, so mm-hmm. it is becoming very popular. The point is the execution of these clusters. Yes, so how it will be executed. And more important, where the more better ecosystem. So even back to history, first industrial revolution in England happens that it was open not just technology, but very good convenient rules and plus big immigration door, which is people move to London for some reason or special reason, and it is created multicultural view or something. Right. So success of Silicon Valley on this. So by this way, even on this technology can be created today everywhere, since the internet united everyone. They landed in the best ecosystem usually. So mm-hmm. for this reason, we have this model to bring guys to the Silicon Valley at first. Yeah.
So, Kathryn, one of the things as we move a little bit into innovation that takes place in these hotbeds with the companies that you're investing in today, technology, life sciences, and so on, do you see them designing for a global market really right from the get-go, or are they still starting in the U.S. and then expanding down the road, or how do they view the world?
They're designing for their markets, for the United States market, but as Sasha said, to the extent that it's technology or technology-enabled mm-hmm. Products, obviously the markets can be much broader. So, for example, in our life sciences companies, the diseases are worldwide,
sure.
But they understand the U.S. marketplace, what the FDA is going to approve, what mm-hmm. else is out there, what the CMS is going to reimburse. But for example, one of our investments is for an Alzheimer's drug discovery company. This is a worldwide problem, but sure. We can start here, and the market is big enough. I mean, obviously, in the United States, you have the luxury of having the largest market, mm-hmm. In really everything. So, mm-hmm. It's pretty easy to grow it here, and with the view that you can go overseas and you can get, large enough and learn the scaling and everything else.
Are there other areas, maybe depressed areas in the country like Detroit or others that really have a chance of becoming the hotbeds of the future in the U.S., or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, There was an interesting report just recently about Dan, I believe his name is Gilbert, who moved his business, Quicken Loans, mm-hmm. From Cleveland to Detroit to take advantage of, lower valuations on lots of infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And, you start with some companies recognizing that and building up their employment, which creates, other needs. Mm-hmm.
What
about internationally?
Yeah, I can add it is almost the same. Yeah, so since depressed area, if you look at the emerging markets, it is always depressed area.
Sure.
And from this point of view, if you look on Eastern Europe, which I am spending most of my time, so if you look on the Eastern Europe, you will find that a comparison Moscow, a comparison Tallinn, a comparison Kyiv or Odessa or some other places which people possibly right now recognize. So you will find that more interesting companies coming from area where the people were economic more depressed. The reason is that the smart people need to think more hard to do something in their life than people who live in the great megapolis like Moscow, and they have too many opportunities in government, in oil industry, or somewhere else. So, and it is interesting.
One well-known businessman recently said, "My advantage is I had no advantage."
There you go. And then on that, let's close. So, Kathryn, Sasha, thanks for visiting with me.